It's effort.
Oh
my
what?
God. Wow,
Oh my God.
That's so surprising. That's actually incredibly surprising. This guy has had one of the worst, you know, outside of Younghwa and like Terror, some of these guys who just have not done so well. One of the guys who has one of the worst records here at Pro League, and he's going to come out as their final player. To me, this is like they're putting a lot on this guy's back. He has a ton of experience in situations like this. He was picked right now to snipe out Maru. This is what this is. It has to be.
I mean, it certainly is. But will it work? That's the question.
Yeah.
Maru is the king right now of our record. He's the grandmaster, as you can see. 15-8. 15-8, 5-4 in this matchup. Has had some recent problems in the matchup, but I don't know, man.
This is an interesting pick. This is CJ. They have so much confidence in this guy. They put him out so many times, even after him not doing so well, and they're going to use him as their final guy here.
He is the last chance, the last hope. But don't forget, Maru still, even though he won his last game, is also just one loss away from losing it all. The winner of this game advances their team to the next round of the playoffs here for the SPL's Round 3.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here in the top left, in the yellow, the guy who's not expected to come out, it is Effort.
And over here to the right side in green, going for a proxy, it looks like. For JINAIR Green Wings, it's Maru.
This is so Maru, man. This is him. Like, he's done this so many times on this map. He knows it's really strong. He can hide it over there to the right side, near that fourth base for the Zerg, and just go for a proxy. Now he sends out the second SCV as well. Oh, now he's just going to make this Supply Depot.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be an 888 Reaper build, quite popular for the map. And he's gonna be able to jump the Reaper right into the main base with this.
Yeah. And I want to see where he's going to place it exactly. It looks like it's going to be close to this third base, right next to the minerals. And there he goes. Now, this is if Effort was going to go for a scout with the drone, this is not somewhere where he would normally scout. You know, we've seen a lot of Zergs go around that middle area and try to come back to the natural and make that a hatchery, but hasn't gone for it. And is this Overlord going to see it? No, it doesn't look like it on the current path.
No, definitely not going to see it, Brendan. And let's see. I mean, it looks like he's going to go for a greedy hatch first. And I don't think he's going to die here, but it's all about micro.
Yeah. Maru's a guy, he can take a macro game, he can take a micro game. He's the king, as you said, and I don't know, seeing the way Effort has played here at Pro League, I would have to give the advantage here to Maru, but anything can happen. This is a very, very pressure-laden final game here. Effort does not have the scouting information. The Reaper is made. The gas is made before Pool.
And don't forget, the SCV hasn't been scouted either, so he could bunker here. Oh my god, this is looking terrible for Effort. The Reaper now, a third of the way done.
Wow. It's going to get right in there into the main base. It's going to have that bunker to jump back into for the protection, of course. Makes a couple of drones while that pool is building, of course, as well. Starts to mine some of that gas.
Yeah. Now, I mean, this first Reaper, how much damage can he get done? Gonna pop up here. He's gonna kill that drone. Well, I mean, he's gonna at least force some spores to be made here. Pool is not even done yet. Lings aren't even started. He's fighting with the SCV as well. Drone's actually getting some hits off on that SCV.
Yeah, and the SCV just barely survives. Maru, you know, focusing more on the micro for his Reaper so far. One of these drones is saved so far. No kills.
Not a single kill yet, but the second Reaper is going to arrive soon. And let's see. I mean, Brennan, this is a dire situation for Effort, but he's known for his control.
Yep, here is the second Reaper now, starts attacking that Spine Crawler a little bit, not doing enough damage. Your Spine Crawler almost done, about 2/3 of the way done. You know, only 3 Zerglings so far able to hold it off, but they're going to deplete very soon here.
Yep, and the hatch is done, mind you, so.
Third Reaper is about to be finished. The Queen is out, the Spine Crawler is done as well.
But even with the Spine Crawler done, it doesn't give full coverage. And he's going to push over this bunker. Let's see. I mean, with the third Reaper, maybe he can kill this. I'm not so sure, though. I'm not so optimistic about killing that Spine with his Zerglings coming to tank.
It's really hard, man. You keep that Queen right next to that Spine. It's going to be pretty safe. Now he's going to come behind, try to snipe some of these drones. He does get one. Zergling's trying to get a nice surround here. Does get one. Very nicely done by Effort, and that's going to reduce the, you know, the effectiveness of this push a lot. He did get 6 drones kills. That's about it.
Yeah. 6 drone kills, and I mean, 12 now to 18 harvesters, triple CC. Probably going to actually end up seeing a long game out of this one, as not a critical amount of damage was done, and this is not a build where you can't transition out. This is not an all-in. This is not a 2 barracks proxy. Even 2 barracks proxies, we've seen a lot of the time players transition out of, but what's most important for Effort right now is he scouts that there's a triple CC, because there's no Marine production at home, there's no barracks production whatsoever. Very greedy follow-up here for Maru, and if he sees that, he might be able to capitalize on that. Sees these Reapers, but there's just too much, you know, too much firepower there.
Yeah, look at this barracks. He's going to come up here and get more scouting information. It's going to take forever to kill that. The Reapers are back in the main base. Does not get this round. Does get one of the Reapers, though.
With speed being done, it's pretty brave to stick around any longer than that. Orbital number 1 on the way. And 7 drones here. And we'll put him up to actually work a lead against Maru. And his Overlord sees this when he's up against. So I think it actually behooves Effort to go for an all-in here, because even if Maru knows that it's coming with the situation he's in right now, it's very, very difficult to actually hold. And he does the exact right choice.
Yep. Effort is on the same line of thinking as you are, Wolf. He sees these 2 CCs. He knows the fact that Maru, it's going to take him so long to make any units here. He's going to have some units coming out. They're going to be Hellions, and those aren't very good against Roaches, I have to say that.
No, they're not. Widow Mines would be more helpful. Marines and Marauders would be more helpful. Oh, he even goes into the second factory. He might just be dead here. 2 Overlords means it's going to be a heavy commitment to the Roaches.
This is one of the downfalls of this kind of build. You send your barracks that far forward, and you don't have it to make many units here. It's flying back right now. Even gets a surround on both of these Hellions with Zerglings. Oh man, wow. Effort is doing so well against Maru. He's looking like he's primed to take this game, actually, getting more SCV kills as well.
Yeah, meaning that there's going to be less SCVs pulled to help against the Roach push, and also less to repair. Everything is looking good for him right now. The Banshee hasn't even been started here. He does add another tech lab on that factory, which means that he's having even less build time to work with here.
Yeah. This drone now going to go over to the third base, and he does have mostly Roaches out here. Let's see if he commits. No. He's going to make more drones here. So this is just going to be a little pressure with the Roaches. He knows there's not much here at the front. He has the Overlord to see this. And he could definitely start poking at there. There's, you know, no middle lines so far. Just 4 Hellions and some Reapers in there as well. And here's the first time he's going to see the Roaches, and he's going to back off.
Bunker is not ready yet. And even if it were, there's only 1 Marine to put inside. And now he just gets up here. There's no raise on the depot.
Bunker does not finish now.
Going up to the top of the ramp here. Now going to start fighting against those Hellions. And the SCVs here forced off the line. The Banshee, though, is the crux of this. He saves most of those SCVs with this. Now the wall is down. He needs to get in there, because if he doesn't get in there, the Banshee will eventually push this back. And he hasn't lost too many SCVs just yet. The Ling follow-up is scary, though. But before that does damage, he needs to eliminate the Hellions. So many of them on the map right now. 7 breaks through here, and here come those Lings. But I think Maru is actually going to be okay here.
Yeah, it looks like it will be. The Banshee has just been doing damage for too long. Lings come in. The Hellions get a nice angle on that as well. The Roaches are doing pretty good over here against these Hellions. But again, there's just not enough of them. Eventually, they are going to go down. And this is going to hinder Maru a little bit. But I'd like to see exactly how many units he lost here. Unfortunately, we don't have the second computer, as we did mention before. We're not able to see just yet, but still, is it worth it? You know, Effort could have just transitioned, but he does delay a lot of mining, Does get a bunch of kills.
Yeah, he does. Banshee's now coming across the map, and see how much damage they get done. There are 4 queens on the map. And Maru is up in Harvesters right now, so any damage he gets done here furthers his lead. Because I felt like with, the build that Effort chose, he was almost certainly going to do more damage, but he committed so much because he thought so too. Queen goes down here.
Queens are separated right now. No transfusions going on. The Cloak is doing so much damage. The Overseer does come in, gets a second Queen now, but the one Banshee here is going to get away.
Siege tank on the way, and we do have now that eBay, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have a transition out of mech. I don't think we will. In fact, I think it's more so just get turrets up for the inevitable Mutalisks that are going to eventually come his way.
Yeah. Another Overseer over there trying to transform, but it's going to go down. All right, just get canceled. Now we're going to come over here, and the Blue Flame and the Hellions is done, and he's going to get some of these drones. They split nicely. There's actually not much of them. Now he's going to come in here to the natural. There are a lot of good hits going down, and oh my god, this is a ton of damage. Yeah,
but you know, the more important part than that damage, I feel, is really just the deficit in general. Because I forgot to mention this earlier. I mean, we all know he had a third CC. That was why it was a risky situation in the first place for Maru. But now he has a third CC that he's been constantly producing SCVs off of, so that gives him a massive worker lead. Scans here, he sees Aspire isn't even done, so he can keep making siege tanks as long as he'd like before he can make before he wants to worry about making Thors or turrets. And he's got a huge bank in minerals, in fact, as it is. Uh-oh, this creep block will be annoying. The Viking is going to have to delay or deny that. That's the only anti-air he has right now. So with this Viking, it's going to actually take a little while to kill that Overlord.
Yeah, a little bit of an annoyance here, but Effort honestly needing every little advantage he can at this moment. Not in a very comfortable position right now. He's making a bunch of drones. He's going into Hydras and Infestors as well, getting a lot of upgrades at the same time.
And, you know, going into Hydras here against Mech, we've seen this work sometimes, but with the economic situation here, I'm not very optimistic about this. The Swarm hosts are going to be more effective, but against the Siege tank out, it's already pretty nicely built. And the lack of economy for Effort to make a massive amount of Swarm hosts right now, I think he's really going to have some trouble. And even almost so much so that I think Maru might consider moving across the map at 140, 150, 160, something like that, not even waiting for that max. Because that's one of the reasons why this map is so popular. The fourth base is so close. It's kind of cut off from everything else. So as the Terran, if you end up getting ahead with mech, or even if you're not ahead, you can still do these pokes, these move outs.
Yeah. For now, he's just going to use his Hellions right now to try to do more damage. He's going to come to the fourth base over there. Oftentimes, the normal fourth base isn't going to see it. Going to go right for that third base. Roaches here are on hold position. They're not going to be able to do much damage so far, but the Spine Crawler are pretty nice. But again, just more shots, adding more damage to what he's already done. How many more kills? It doesn't look like it's too much, but still, just 3.
Yeah, just 3. But, you know, I mean, any damage done is damage. Now he's gone up to 77 workers, Effort has. 80, in fact, now. But this comes at a price. It costs him his larva, and it costs him a lot of bank in minerals. So Maru has a much larger army. And what in the world? He is actually... Okay, so... I have to admit, I zoned out for a minute, because I was like going through my head all the different ways Effort can come back and what he can do with his Storm Host, maybe. But I didn't notice that we had Stim on the production level 1-1 for bio. Like, I was just spacing on that. And now I'm like, okay, he's 6 barracks. So he's taken this new Marine mech style to the next level by, he's like optimized it looks like a little bit, so where he lets the Marines explode at the end and he keeps the Zerg completely guessing on this. Yep. And the Zerg's not going to see that tech lab researching. He has no idea. He's like getting Vipers and like pull the Marines or something. Like, obviously, he will be able to pull Thors, but the Marines are going to wreck this army if there are no Banelings.
Yeah. And
he lets that get to max. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. Maru, it looks like he's just controlling this game right now. He seems like he's just flowing, you know what I mean? Like, everything he's doing with this build looks like it has a reason. Even with Effort, like, trying to come in and do a ton of damage, it doesn't seem like it has thrown it off much at all. Now these Hydras that he's made over here aren't going to be too great against siege tanks, and they're going to deny the fourth base, but that's about it for now.
That changing wasn't meant to be. Maru has a lot of worker supply as well, so That means that his army is going to be a little bit smaller than it could be, but he might actually use that with his push. So it ends up kind of being part of an army supply in a sense. And let's see. I mean, he's going out here now. The Marine's still hidden. Actually, not so much. He sees a few of those.
Yeah.
He needs a Baneling Nest if he wants to deal with this, in my opinion.
He really does. I mean, this is going to be some nice pressure coming over here. He's going to see all these Marines and going to be like, what? And he's going to put on some pressure, but he's got to back off. There's too many tanks, you know, once he just repositions those. And now with the Banshees and Cloak, no Overseer with this army, it's not going to be enough. Starts a Greater Spire back at home and Burrow.
Yeah, and Corruptor's now coming out to help deal with the Banshees and the Vikings. Trying to snipe these Vipers, but there's too many Hydras to support. And this game is intense. 9 Siege Tanks to join the 3 Thors and 25 Marines now, with a few Marauders now being added in. So it's almost like he's built a late-game TVP bio army that you would use in a normal situation, but like with siege tanks on it. But he built it backwards. Like he's gonna have siege tanks and the upgrades for his bio, or he's gonna have the bio and its upgrades later. He's gonna have siege tanks and the Thors that you want for Mutalists and big groups of units last. 9 siege tanks will wreck this army, and if he tries to actually go on top of this Bioforce with his Hydralist, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too good, I don't think. And Effort did before kill those rocks to deny this from going down. Now he's going to kill the second layer here and open up that path for him. No, he doesn't actually finish those off, and the siege tanks at the top of that ramp are going to deny that push very, very nicely here. But now, Broodlord's on the way.
Yeah, 5 Broodlords, and he killed a lot of Vikings, so this is going to be an issue. Thing is, can he get underneath the Broodlords with his Marines? Because if he can, that's going to be amazing. Now, again, Effort showing that he is no pushover when it comes to this matchup, even though his results don't really stand up for themselves. Blue Flame Hellions would love to fight those Hydralists, but looks like he doesn't quite have enough.
And you know those Zerglings are not being dealt with just yet, and the Broodlords here defensively should be okay. As you did mention before, the Vikings are just not enough. He's got 3. He's forced to lift his command center, the natural. Mining is not going down here. He's going to be forced to bring back his Banshees, some Hellbats. And now the Zerglings are going to go into the 3rd base as well and start doing damage here.
Yeah, looks that way. And here come those Broodlords.
At the same time, there's no cover here for the siege tanks. A bunch of them are going to go down. Finally, some Vikings come in, but it's just not enough. They're being pulled.
Oh my god, this could be Hydra's moment. There's too many siege tanks, though, to get his Hydras that close. The Thors are really the key here. Now he's starting to fight the bio a little bit in the back with his Hydras. And Effort, man, he's starting to pick away at this. He's got more Broodlords coming through. Is Maru just, does he just not have enough?
It doesn't look like it, man. It looks like he's being pulled apart. The Broodlords have no answer. There's no answer here except a couple of Thors. That's all he's got.
And this is not an army composition that could be rebuilt
Look
overnight.
at this. These Zerglings were never dealt with. They're still doing damage over here, and now he's trying to repair his planetary over here. There's just too many Broodlings.
27 Hydras for the Remax. Knowing that the Broodlords will be able to zone this quite nicely. You can always have the Hydras to help out against the Vikings that are in small number. You'd really like to have some Vipers. There they go, the pulls there. I mean, and I guess those Vikings try to take out the Viper, but he can't. Again, Blue Flame Hellions will also be a good fighter against those Hydralists, but does he have enough Marines here? Not quite, and he loses a lot. And this momentum is not going anywhere anytime soon. It doesn't look like. He's actually probably going to have to start repairing this command center soon.
Yep, he's going to have to, and there's a gigantic Hydra force here still. These siege tanks are going to keep him back for now, but still not much of an answer for these 3 Broodlords. That's all he needs for now. And look at the supplies. Look at the banks still here for Effort. He's still trying to decide what he wants in this army. He's going to make Corruptors.
Yeah. It's going to help him again with the Vikings. Also will allow him to replenish his Broodlords.
Yep.
And Baneling's coming in here now as well. So that's going to help with the Bioforce. And he can't afford to remake mech units right now, so he can only afford to make Marines, so these Banelings are going to be great.
I mean, he's got some gas, but still, like, his minerals are so low. Mining has been denied at that natural for so long. The 3rd base was being wrecked by these adrenal gland Zerglings as well. 3 Zerglings even getting away.
Well, I mean, let's see what Maru can do. Let's see if he can, like, hang in here and try to come back, because his mining is abysmal right now. He has no map control. The creep spread is starting to get much, much closer. Blinding clouds on this army could be devastating. You would just consider that concept. I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen that yet against the siege tanks.
Yeah.
Because the Hydras could just come in and do so much with that.
And look at this, 9 Broodlords. I really love what Effort has done so far with this composition. The Vipers, so much energy on those guys. They're sucking it out of that extractor right now. They're going to be able to pull so many Vikings, and the Vikings just go down. They melt to the Hydras on the ground, and there's enough, you know, support for those Hydras with the Broodlings. He's making a bunch of these Vikings now, but the Vipers are in position right now. They're going to be grabbed soon enough.
Yep, and Broodlings.
Here we go. All of them get grabbed.
Grabs, and the Hydras at the back here, not quite able to get that damage on the Blinding Cloud, though, hurting that Siege Tank fire. Now he's killed the Planetary, and honestly, he almost has enough DPS to actually just turn on those Bioforces and not kite against the Vikings. Queens are here as well. Doesn't seem to have any transfuses, at least the ways he's not using them.
Yeah. Vikings now, it doesn't seem like there's any more pulls or just, you know, not enough to get those guys down, and a lot of Siege Tanks still on the ground. Maru gaining some ground here with this fight.
Yeah. Hydra's here actually starting to be pushed back as well. He's remaxing with 17 of those. And Maru, not only has he pushed this back, he's built a little bit of a bank, so he is you know, going to be able to remax eventually if this doesn't go too terribly for him. That Blinding Cloud makes all the difference in the world, but Maru is like on the push. He will not be stopped, it seems like, and counterposes, kills this base. Everett has the 5th to fall back on, but damn.
Yeah, man. That push is able to kill it, but he has to come back. He knows. His bank is not that big right now. He has to remake this 5th base, or rather 4th base. His other bases before his main is totally done, totally mined out, and he has to secure another base there. Could not continue to push. Had to expect that Effort was following up with a nice big replenishment of reinforcements there, so nice job by him to back off, but Effort doesn't seem like he wants to end his aggression here. Wants to go back on the map. He has a ton of Zerglings and Hydras right now in his force.
I just fear this could be like a mistake to just keep attacking in like this. You know, maybe he needs to just cut his losses with these fights, back up and get a better army. You know, get those. I mean, look at his bank. Is he gonna like try to a Mutalisk switch? What is he? He just made his choice, I think.
Yeah, a ton of Swarmhosts. Okay. I'm like a ton of Swarmhosts. Okay.
So I guess we're gonna see a bit of Turley play, but I feel like this gives Maru the opportunity to come back in this game.
Yeah, have to agree. Maru's, you know, he's taking it, but Effort says he wants to go for a counterattack. But actually seeing the push at his front door, Effort backs off, and he loses that base in the middle once again.
Yeah, now he's going to be careful not to fight this army straight up. I don't know if that's enough Hydras with Marines, Marauders, Medevacs to support, and also the Siege Tanks. I think he's got to back off, and he does. A little surprised that we don't really see any Banelings right now.
Yeah, no Banelings being done.
I guess
feel like there's a lot of Siege Tanks. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of bio, but there's a lot of Siege Tanks to back it up as well. What he's doing is all right. I feel like there's a lot of Hydras here, like too many, but the Swarm Hosts are going to help a lot. There's a drop over here that's not being dealt with right now, though. That's really, really big. There are some Zerglings that are about to pop, but a Queen goes down. And the push is at the front once again. This 5th base could go down once again here in the middle.
He scans. Oh, and he goes for the Swarm Host instead. Starts targeting those down, gets 2. It's going to save the base, though, that presence there. But can he push this further now? The Lings are back. Well, that's a lot of Locusts. I think he might consider going in after this next wave. It's just too risky with all those Lings. If he gets caught, the Locusts rip his army to shreds.
Yeah, I actually like what Maru's doing right now. He knows Effort is like scrambling, and he's trying to drop like all over the place because he got map control in the middle. And he's saying like, okay, you bring units back to defend my drops, and I'm going to go for a big push. He has a really good position here at the bottom of the ramp, and there are a ton of Hydras brought back to deal with this. Is he going to go in for the push? For now, no. He just has a really good position at the bottom with the Siege Tanks, and he's going to put on the Marine pressure as well, and it doesn't look like there's much here to deal with this.
No, not enough. I don't know, man. Maru has clawed his way back in. A few good pulls here on those Vikings, and this base will finally fall.
Falls once again.
Now what's the next step? Does he go back? Does he go to the 5th base?
5th base is something he would definitely want soon enough here. Unfortunately, if he wants to go for the left one, it's going to be creep block. He's going to have to deal with that. Could go for the one on the right. But again, I mean, does he really have to? He's keeping Effort's base down here. which is okay for him. He knows that Effort is on similar situation.
Effort just has a much better bank, and that's what allows him to stay in this. Okay, 13 banelings now being made, but I don't know. That is a lot of siege tanks. I think he has like somewhere between 6 to 9 siege tanks right now.
Yeah, at least they're in the middle. I feel like maybe if he can get some really nice blinding clouds and then go in with a bunch of locusts and zerglings, could be okay. No zerglings though, all made into banelings.
Yeah, literally all of them. This would be a baneling's delight. I wonder what he's going to do with those. I guess he's just going to start long distance mining.
Looks like it for now, and he's also going to see that Overlord over there if he decides that he's going to want to clear that. We'll have that information for now.
Well, the Broodlords are coming in here again.
Effort wants to start going for this. He's pulled a lot of Vikings. He knows there's only 1 or 2 Vikings in the air, and he's going to pull one of those. And the Hydras are going to do it, and actually Maru is forced to back off here. This is such a back-and-forth game. Effort wants to come in here. It seems like a bunch of Locusts as well as Broodling Pressure. So hard to deal with.
And, I mean, it's just a back-and-forth tug-of-war here, really. The thing is, like, the Terran army can never push in the same way that the Zerg army does, but he can't overextend with his pushing. So if he does, he's going to start losing his expensive Broodlords, which, honestly, he has so much of a bank with. He might be able to just kind of expend to a certain extent. Now, these Vikings are dying. They're also seeing the Banelings, so he needs to make sure he continues on either the siege tank production or make sure his units are split when the Banelings roll in.
Yeah. This is, I have to say, I think this is looking a bit dire for Maru. He doesn't have any bank. He doesn't have another base. He's got the one in the middle, and that's it. He's long distance mining from the one on the left. And that's about it. You know, Effort has a giant bank. And the siege tanks and the Vikings are being pushed one after another, and they keep on going down. And he's making like one at a time because that's all he can afford. But eventually, there's not going to be any answer for the Broodlords.
If he knew this, well, actually, he does know his base along the lines. If he knew, he would just send like a few units over here. Surprised he sends 2 roaches instead of Zerglings. But this means now he's no longer long distance mining, and that means he's actually just about to be not mining at all. I mean, he's got like very little minerals left at this last base that he has. It's getting close to being mined out. The rest of his bases are, in fact, mined out. The roaches will go down here. He clears up that creep.
Yep, and they're the Zerglings you were talking about, and there's no, well, there's a small army here to defend, but he's going to pick off those guys that are long distance right now. Going to look at the upgrades. Maru never had enough money to finish his bio upgrades.
Well, Brendan, you know what they say about long distance? It never really works out.
It's not going to work out for Maru here, I think. Here comes the big army. More pulls onto all the Vikings. There's no more answer for the Broodlords, and they're going to demolish the rest of this army.
He can't stim and run underneath because the Banelings are there. I think we figured it out. That's what he wants these Banelings to be for. They're underneath the Broodlords, so Marines can't run in. GG Effort! In his 2nd win this season, this is the win that Effort needed. The crowd is going crazy right now. I can't believe it, man. I'm in shock. I can't.
I am stunned, man. That was some incredible. That is not play we have seen Effort play at all in Pro League, and he came out and proved our our unsureness for him wrong. He played an incredible game the entire time. He wore Maru down from the beginning to the end, and his composition was awesome. His play, his positioning was stellar. Oh my God.
And JINAIR Green Wings is out. They're out.
That's it.
What? This is crazy. This is madness. I'm struggling to find words to describe the. If you told me I would have to dye my hair half pink and half green if they were gonna pick Effort for that match, I would have taken the bet, man. Oh my God.
This is Effort, like, this is such a giant game for him. He's getting a cheer from the entire crowd. He's got to be feeling touched right now. He's probably been practicing day and night for just this matchup. This is the snipe that CJ Entis needed. They knew they had to deal with Maru eventually against JINAIR Green Wings, and they dealt with him in one of the most unexpected ways possible.
Well, here are our results. And all the way to Game 7. Hero takes 3 wins, or rather 2 wins, putting his team into that early lead after